Thinking about buying a Tesla or just curious if they actually save you money? I've owned a few. I've driven one on giant road trips. I've totaled another. We're not going to talk about that one. So in this video, I'm breaking down the real cost of Tesla ownership and sharing my expenses when it comes to purchase price, charging, insurance, maintenance, registration, and even those sneaky hidden costs. Let's get into it. Now, when it comes to charging, obviously electricity is cheaper than gas in most cases, but how much cheaper exactly? The average gas price for me here in Las Vegas, Nevada is $3.78 right now, and the average gas price in the US is $3.17. Now, there's two kinds of charging. The first is supercharging, and it's not that much cheaper than gas, at least not anymore. Superchargers cost per kilowatt hour, so it's not like an apples to apples comparison. My personal experience, we took a cross-country road trip in our Model Y just last year. 2 dogs, 1 cooler full of questionable snacks, and a lot of superchargers. It cost us about 2/3 the price that gas would have if we took a gas car. And again, it used to be cheaper. I would say just a few years ago, taking a cross-country road trip using superchargers would cost like half the price of gas. But the second kind of charging is at-home charging, and that is where you will save the most money. So for me, my electricity rate at home is 14 cents per kilowatt hour. My Model 3 Performance has a 75 kilowatt hour battery, which means if my math is right, I would pay about $10.50 for a completely full charge, which is almost 300 miles of range. And when it comes to comparing for a full tank of gas, you're going to have to use your own car and your own gas station trips and your range in your car to compare. But the cool thing is that we have a Tesla app, and it's very cool because it shows you exactly how much you spent on charging and how much you would have spent if you had a gas car, so you can see exactly how much money you saved when it comes to charging. So for my Model 3 Performance, I've had it for about 3 months. I spent $132 so far with charging. Gas would have cost me $427, so in just 3 months, I've saved about $295. We also have a long-range Model Y. Over the last year, we spent $711. That's including a cross-country road trip in December. Gas over the past year would have cost us $2,441, which means we saved about $1,730 by charging. Now let's talk maintenance next, because most people think that charging is where Teslas can save you the most money, but in my experience, maintenance is where we've saved a ton of money. My old Model 3 had 58,000 miles, original tires. I had 3 tire rotations that cost me $40 each. I put air filters in it that cost $25. And for maintenance, that is literally it. Now after 58,000 miles, it was close to needing new tires, but in the end, I didn't need them because, well, we're not going to talk about it. Our Model Y we've had for almost 2 years. I've done 3 tire rotations that cost $40 each. I put air filters in that as well that cost $25, and we also put a gallon of windshield washer fluid in there that cost us $8. So if my math is right, that's a total of about $158 for maintenance over almost 2 years for our Model Y, which is cheaper than what I spend at Chipotle each month. $13 a couple times a week tends to add up a little bit. Now my Model 3 Performance, which I currently have, I have not done anything. It's only like 3 months old. And you'll hear a bunch of horror stories about severe Tesla damage, especially like Teslas needing a new battery, and they say they cost like $20K, but they actually come with a warranty. It depends on the model, but it's usually something like 8 years or 120,000 miles if the battery falls under 70% capacity. And if you're worried about what might happen after the warranty ends, just know that at 200,000 miles, you can still expect at least 80% battery capacity for your Tesla, meaning that your Tesla will degrade less than 20% after 200,000 miles. So when it comes to just general maintenance overall, compared to a gas car, Tesla is the cheapest car to maintain over 5 years of ownership. And you can see exactly how much cheaper the fuel cost and maintenance costs actually are. And I'm going to guess most of those maintenance costs come from needing new tires. Yet, you can see that Teslas are the cheapest despite their higher costs in insurance and registration. So let's talk about those two things next. Now, when it comes to insurance, this is where people say that Teslas are usually way more expensive, but in my experience, Insurance for us has been on par, if not even a little cheaper than any comparable gas car. I do have Tesla insurance, which gives pretty good rates for Teslas, but they are cheap. And when you need them, let's just say you get what you pay for, which is unfortunately cheap service. They do base your insurance rate off what they call the safety score. Basically, the safety score is the safer you drive, the less you have to pay. I'm not going to go into all the details of what goes into a safety score, but for us, my wife and I drive pretty good. We have close to full coverage, and here's what we pay. Our Model Y per month is $176.95, and my Model 3 per month is $129.45. And to compare to a gas car, I'm not even going to try to pull up a gas car to compare to because insurance rates vary depending on so many factors. But I feel like in most cases, just because it's a Tesla doesn't mean insurance will be higher. Go ahead and get some quotes, and if your state offers Tesla insurance, look into it if you want the cheapest rates, but just know it may not give you the best service if something were to actually ever happen. Now, registration. Some states have an EV tax just because it's an EV. Fortunately, Nevada does not have this, but unfortunately, this is a trend that I can only see continuing onto more states. However, more than anything, at least here in Nevada, registration is dependent on the MSRP price of the vehicle. When we bought our Model Y at the end of 2023, our registration cost us $951. When we renewed our Model Y earlier this year, that cost us $878, which is a lot, but honestly, it's probably not as much as I spent at Chipotle over the past year. But when I got my Model 3 Performance, that registration was only $676, but that's a unique case because I transferred my old plates from my old Model 3. But lastly, when it comes to registration, do note that Nevada, compared to like all other states, is at the top of registration cost, whether it's a Tesla, another EV, or any car. Across the board, Nevada just sucks for car registration. Now, when it comes to depreciation, we've all heard it, Teslas lose their value so much in such little time. For my Model 3, luckily I was able to use some Tesla credits towards my purchase, and it's only like 3 months old. So I'll share our 2023 Model Y, for example. Our purchase price was $46,490, and after the tax credit, we actually paid $38,990 for our Model Y. It's got almost 30,000 miles. I got some trade-in estimates from Carvana, which offered us $24,800, and from Tesla themselves, who offered us $26,500. So let's just say my Model Y is worth about $26,000 right now. So after about 2 years, or almost 2 years, if my math is right, that means our Tesla Model Y has depreciated about 33%. And apparently, the average depreciation over the first 2 years of any car is about 30%. So yes, maybe Teslas do depreciate more, but here's my take on this. A new Model Y, just like 3 to 4 years ago, was like $60,000 or even more in some cases. In fact, even the Model 3s were way more expensive just a few years ago. The price of new Teslas have come down substantially. The ones who got hit with the heavy depreciation are the ones who bought during peak pricing, like the ones who bought a Model Y for like $70K in 2022. If you bought a Model Y for that much just like 3 years ago and now it's worth like barely $20,000, that is a ton of depreciation. So sure, they depreciate, but do they depreciate way more than any other car or as much as they used to? I don't think so. And lastly, I wanted to touch on some hidden costs. Every car has some sort of hidden costs attached to it. As a Tesla-only owner, I can't speak on what other cars need, but I can mention a few things that Tesla owners need to spend money on that they might not expect. And 3 things come to my mind, the first being accessories. I don't know if you'd call them accessories, but there's some things that don't come with the car, but they should. Some things like storage organizers, a screen protector, and some higher quality floor mats. The lack of organizers actually really bugs me. They're so cheap. Tesla can easily do it. It's like buying a refrigerator and finding out that the shelves come separately. The second thing is the premium connectivity. Tesla comes with streaming apps for music and video streaming, like you can watch YouTube right from your Tesla. But what you may not know is to use these streaming apps, you'll have to pay $10 a month for a premium connectivity subscription. Now you can always connect your phone to Bluetooth and play your music that way, or do your hotspot from your phone to your Tesla and watch things that way. But it's just easier to use the apps right on the screen, and for that, you're gonna have to pay a little bit. And number 3 is full self-driving. And for some people, full self-driving is what separates a Tesla from any other car. The car can quite literally drive itself, but it comes at a cost. Now, autopilot is different, and that's free. That keeps you in your lane, keeps you a safe distance from the car in front of you. It'll adapt speed as needed. But full self-driving, or FSD, is currently $99 a month, which is more than, never mind, we've had enough Chipotle jokes. But FSD, that will do all your driving for you. It'll make turns, change lanes, stop at lights and stop signs, etc. And no other car charges for something like this, but to be fair, no other car really has the software as powerful as Tesla's in this regard to actually do this. But just know, if you want to utilize it, you'll have to pay extra for it. So I hope this information and us sharing our costs was helpful for you in determining how much a Tesla really costs if you can actually save money with it. But if you do want more Tesla content, road trips, reviews, Chipotle orders, make sure you subscribe. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.